Digital transformation. Not since e-commerce has a term with so little substance generated so much consulting revenue. With 444 million results on Google, you might think that digital transformation was a well-defined discipline. You'd be wrong. We see digital transformation as a process that results in an intelligent enterprise, one that distributes intelligence and authority to make evidence-based decisions. 3 technologies enable this transformation: cloud computing, the Internet of Things, and cognitive computing. We begin with cloud computing, a technology-supported business model for provisioning computing resources, from hardware to system software to application services. The 3 most important benefits of cloud computing for digital transformation are that a cloud-based app can scale up or down in response to changing demands. Most cloud vendors offer significant data sources, and most cloud vendors offer AI services and services for connecting edge devices. Those will be important in the next 2 transformation phases. Leading vendors, such as Amazon's AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and IBM Cloud, provide shared but secure access to public cloud resources or dedicated resources. Some applications or data may have to reside on-premise, in which case a private cloud model is more appropriate. Typically, though, enterprises that require private cloud resources can also benefit from complementary public cloud services, so a hybrid model is often preferable to a pure private cloud model. The next step is to adopt an Internet of Things or IoT model that supports instrumentation of all your edge assets, the people and devices that act as your interface between you and the outside world. Instrumenting edge devices can be as simple as providing your people with smartphones to access resources, or putting an in-use or open detector on a bike rack. It can be as complex as installing hundreds of sensors to monitor a jet engine in flight. Think of sensors as lightweight devices that perceive the data much as human perception sensors detect sight, sound, smells, taste, and touch. When a number of sensors work together on a task, such as monitoring a jet engine, the best practice is to aggregate their data in a gateway device that manages communications with remote systems, rather than having every sensor on every asset report individually. The final technology pillar is cognitive computing, which is a subset of artificial intelligence. Artificial cognition is a function of machine-based learning, reasoning, and understanding to capture and create knowledge. Let's put the concepts together and consider an enterprise that rents bikes and spaces in a bike rack. The rack is a physical asset. Someone could observe it at regular intervals to decide whether there was enough capacity for the day, or look for relationships between external factors and demand. An intelligent enterprise approach would be to make the rack aware of its status and the rules governing its behavior, and give it the ability and authority to make decisions. There's no reason a rack should have to consult another system to change pricing or order more bikes for the day based on the weather forecast. The rack could monitor weather data from a cloud service stream and adjust prices accordingly. Now imagine that the fleet of bikes is instrumented and can communicate with the rack. The rack might notice that a bike that had been rented for a low price was nearby. It could decide to notify the rider that the ride would be free if the bike was returned in 15 minutes. That might be a good decision for the rack to make autonomously if it becomes aware of a break in the weather or a nearby traffic jam that'll enable it to begin surge pricing. Scenarios like this are possible because the enterprise can scale resources to meet demand, leverage external data streams from the cloud, collect data using IoT-enabled assets, and have assets make decisions autonomously with embedded cognitive computing functions. The outcomes of asset decisions should be shared with enterprise applications and peer devices so the enterprise and all its assets learn from every decision. Wrapping up, think about all 3 transformation steps before taking the first one. You'll need a cloud platform with strong IoT connectivity and cognitive services. Everyone talks about multi-cloud solutions and interoperability, but each vendor has its own collection of services and partners, and those will evolve. The more integrated your intelligent enterprise becomes, the more difficult it'll be to move a complete solution from one cloud to another. That's why the selection process for your cloud vendor requires a careful analysis of their current and planned data, IoT, and cognitive services. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notifications as we release more detailed videos on each of the technologies and processes, plus interviews and case studies.